Welcome to lesson 7 of this topic, where we're going to talk about wages and overtime. So wages, mostly those people that work per hour, okay? They're those people that get their money as in they work per hour. All right? You are not getting a monthly salary which is fixed. Yours is according to the amount of time that you have worked. So that money which you get is what we call a wage. Those are wages. All right. So the amount is fixed per hour. So if you work more than your normal working week, you get an overtime rate. Okay. So if you agree, you're going to agree that per day you'll be working. Please hear me. If you agree with your boss that per day you are going to be working from 08 to 16 hours, okay? This is your normal time. Then you are told that maybe per hour you are going to work for 20 kwacha, just an example. So when you go beyond this time, you go into what we call overtime. And the overtime is also supposed to be paid at a specific rate, not the normal one, because this one is more or less like an inconvenience. This is more or less like an inconvenience. So you're supposed to be paid slightly higher or higher than the normal hourly rate. Okay? So this is what we're talking about here. So when you are going to go for the double when you're going to go for common, what's this? If you're going to work overtime. So if you're going to work overtime, these are the common rates that you are going to agree with your boss. I want you to pay attention. These are the common rates of overtime pay. Okay? These are the common rates. So I want you to pay particular attention here. So the common rate could be double time. Double time, what does it mean? That is what we are going to see here. Okay? So double time means that if the normal, let's say the normal one is 20 kwacha. This is the amount that you work for an hour in the normal working time. Then when they tell you that your rate, overtime rate, when you have an overtime hour, when they tell you that your rate is going to be overtime, double time, what are they talking about? Anyway, we have an example here where we're going to talk about this. Then the second one is time and a half. Time and a half. Time and a half. The last one is time and a quarter. Time and a quarter. So these are the common rates of overtime. These are the common rates of overtime. All right? I hope we have picked something. Now we have an example here where we want to be very practical. All right? So we are saying the hourly rate at Wanashe company is 30 kwacha. The hourly rate at Wanashe company is 30 kwacha. Are we together? Within that time that was agreed, that is the time that you're going to be working, the normal time, just like I explained. This is if you're in the normal time, like I was indicating, if you're told that you'll be working from 08 up to maybe 18 hours or 16, depending on what we have agreed. Let's put it at 16. This is your normal time. So how many hours are you going to work for here? Here we have 8 hours, isn't it? So beyond, so it's like every day you work for 8 hours. Your normal, so every day, this is your normal working hour. You have 8 hours per day. So when you go beyond 8 hours, then that becomes an overtime, and you need to agree on the rate. So the rate could be double time, or half time and a half, or time and a quarter. So that is what we want to see now here. Double time means what? The normal time, we are referring to this one. This is the one for the normal time, isn't it? So it is going to be 30 multiplied by 2, double. So if you agreed that your rate, your overtime rate is going to be double time, then it means you multiply this one by 2. I hope that is clear. So this is what is going to be your overtime rate. So those hours that you're going to work for overtime, it means in 1 hour you'll be making 60 kwacha in the overtime. What if your rate is time and a half? I think you should understand now. Time, I said it's 30 and half. What is the half of, what is the half of 30? What is the half of 30? It's 15. So it means here the rate is going to be 45 kwacha. If this is what is going to be your rate, time and a half, meaning in overtime per hour you'll be making 45 kwacha instead of 30 kwacha which you are making under normal time. I hope that is clear. Please, you copy these things. What about time and a quarter? Time, I've told you that time is what? It's 30. That same one, which is, then what about quarter? Quarter, you know that quarter is 1/4. What is 1/4 of 30? In other words, we are dividing 30 by 4. What do you get? This is going to give us 7.5. So meaning the quarter is going to be 7 kwacha and 50 ngwe. So what will be the rate here if this is what we are given? Our rate is, overtime rate is time and a quarter. How much are we going to be working for an hour in the overtime? So it will be 37 kwacha 50 ngwe. All right, I hope I've explained these terms here. They will not all be given in like you. I just wanted you to understand, what does that double time mean? What does time and a half mean? Time and a quarter mean? So this is what I want you to understand. Okay, half, you know that it's 1/2. 1/2 multiplied by 30. 2 into this, you get 15. That's where this 15 is coming from here. So let's go and answer the questions now, the way they come in the exam. Read question 2. Okay? Read question 2 and understand. Royce is paid 27 kwacha 40 ngwe per an hour for a 40-hour week. Okay? Royce is paid 27 kwacha and 40 ngwe per hour for a 40-hour week. Meaning this person works 40 hours in a week. 40 hours in a week. Okay? That is the normal time. The normal time is to work for 40 hours in a week at this rate. And then time and a half for any overtime. Time and a half for any overtime. 1 week she works 1 week she works 47 hours. Okay? Instead of working her normal time, which is 40 hours per week, in this week she worked for 47 hours. How much is she paid? How much is she paid? Okay? We can, 1 week she worked 47 hours. How much is she paid? So you need to understand that from these 7 hours, from these 47 hours, 40 hours was the normal working hours of the week. So these 40 hours will be multiplied by this rate here, which is the normal one, 27 multiplied by 40. This is the normal one, isn't it? I hope you're getting me. Then plus, she worked the overtime. The overtime hours here were what? The overtime hours were 7. So now, what will be the rate for these 7 hours? Time and a half. Time and a half. Okay? So, what is time and a half? The time is 27. Then half, we need now half of this one. So we need to divide this by 2. When you divide this by 2, what do you get? 27.4. 2 here, it's 1. 2 into 7, it's 3. Remainder, 1. And 2 into 14, it's 7. So it will be, the half is going to be 13.7. So we need now to add these. When we add these, what do we get? This is going to give us 11 point, what do we get here? This gives us 10 plus that one, another 11, then this is so meaning the half now here, the rate, it's going to be time and half. So you add, so this is what is going to be there, 41.1. So basically now your job is to multiply these two. What do you get? We can multiply this and you also multiply this here. What are we going to get? Okay, so we can multiply. So when you multiply this one here, you're supposed to get 1096 kwacha plus, when you multiply 7 multiplied by 41.1, what do you get? You're going to get 287.7. Are we there? Then, now you need to add. You need to add this amount plus this one. What do you get? We can multiply we can add these two and see what are we getting. We'll get 1383.7. This is what we're going to get. Okay, then we have the last one. We have the last one here. Pay attention. Mavuto is paid 40 kwacha per hour. Okay, Mavuto is paid 40 kwacha per hour for a 30-hour week. Okay, is that clear? Mavuto is paid 40 kwacha per hour for a 30-hour week. A 30-hour week, it means, according to Mavuto, the employer told him that in a week, he's going to be working for 30 hours. So when he goes beyond 30 hours in a week, it means those excess hours, they'll be treated as overtime. So he's going to be paid at an overtime rate. And the rate of overtime is time and a quarter. Time and a quarter. It can be here double time. It can be double time. So we said if it's double time, the rate is, you just multiply it by 2. You get, so calculate his total earning wage in a week in which he worked for 40 hours. In which he worked for 40 hours. How many are his normal working hours in a week? 30 hours. Okay? Then the rate for these hours is what? 40 kwacha. It's here per hour, isn't it? This is normal. Then he worked for how many hours in this week? He worked for 40 hours. So you need to say plus the 10 hours. This is 10 hours here. Okay? For overtime. And these are supposed to be charged at the rate, which is what? Time. Time is what? This is where now time is 40. Time and a quarter. What is it? Plus a quarter. A quarter of what? 40. What is a quarter of 40? All right? This here is 1. So a quarter of 40 is 10. So this is going to be 50. So meaning his overtime rate is 50 kwacha. So here we are going to have 50 kwacha. All right? So this gives us how much? 500 kwacha here. How much do we get here? 1,200. All right? Are we together? Then when you add these two together, how much do you get? You get 1,700. Get 1,700 zero ways. 1,700. Okay? This is what I expect you to copy, write down, and then you have to make sure that you do a good job. Thank you very much. Let me give you the questions for the exercise. So we have this question. That is our first question. Copy this question. Okay, this is our second question. Tinashe is paid 28 kwacha per hour for a 40-hour week, and then time and a half. That is the overtime rate for any overtime. 1 week he works 50 hours. How much did he pay? How much is he paid? Sorry. So we have our question 3. So what I want you to do, for those of you that submit your answers, just answer the first 3 questions and submit your answers. All right? But I'm going to give you 3 more questions just for revisions. Okay? 3 more questions just for revisions. Okay, so the questions are here. Okay. You need these questions. They are very good for revisions. All right. Thank you and goodbye.